Hello and welcome back to the stream. Sunday afternoon, February 9th. Starting a couple minutes early today because I was ready and I thought, why not? Why not just get started? Give people a chance to join if they're going to pop in. How's it going? My name is Angela. I'm a software engineer and front-end developer in St. Paul, Minnesota. Yeah, we do everything front end here, emphasis on building user interfaces, accessibility, responsive, getting back to those core foundational skills, HTML, CSS, vanilla JavaScript, all that good stuff. Today we are resuming. Do I have you pulled up yet? I do not. Today we are resuming our work on the ocean. That's what this template is called, the ocean. And it's part of a collection of mock-ups that I've had for ages, going back to when I was a freelancer in the good old days, in the beginning of my career as a front-end developer. Where I used to buy these Photoshop mock-ups, and they helped me a lot when I was freelancing. And when I was a freelancer, I did everything. So I brought in clients, I wrote the proposals, I scoped out the work, I did all the BA work myself, and then I would design and develop the sites. And I was a WordPress developer in the early days. I don't do WordPress anymore, but I really struggled with design. So I would buy Photoshop mockups mostly from ThemeForest. And yeah, I just have a ton of these in my collection. Some I've used for client projects and some that I've never used. So let's see here. Let's actually get this pulled up. And we had a good day yesterday. We started working on the navigation, the responsive off-canvas navigation. And that is going, okay. Yeah, it's going fine. I wanted to say it's going really well. It's fine. We're getting there. I did run into a problem yesterday that I didn't know how to solve, and I had feedback from the chat, Emilio. Specifically, I said, hey, do you want to sit here and watch me try to figure out when little things like this happen in my layout that I don't know how to fix? Do you want to see me try to figure that out? Or do you want me to figure that out and come back ready tomorrow? And Emilio said, I love watching you try to figure that stuff out. And he was the only one who responded. So I decided to wait until today to see if we could figure out what is happening with this layout. So let me show you what is happening. And I also have my phone set up here so I can show you on my actual iPhone what's happening, and you can kind of see it here, that there's this gap over on the right. Let's see if I just reload. Yeah, and it's still. So this gap here on the right, I'm not sure what's causing this. So we need to try to nail that down today. I have to say though, everything else is looking great. The work that we did yesterday, like refining the responsive styles, chef's kiss. I think they look great. I'm really happy with them. I think, I don't know. I wonder if these titles for the sidebar have something to do with this, if it's sort of busting out of that container. So that's a possibility. I also wonder if it just has something to do with how I'm hiding the navigation, because there's really two sets of navigation. So we have, let's go back to desktop. So we have the desktop version of the navigation, but we also have a second set of navigation, and this does not slide. So even when I'm here, see, this is why you have to test on a mobile device or get as close to a simulated mobile device as possible. Because if you only ever rely on adjusting your browser window, you're not going to get an accurate reading of what's really going on a mobile device. Because when I adjust the browser window, okay, so that's 332, I'm just like on the trackpad trying to, slide this to the left or right, and we don't get a gap here. There's nothing going on. But when we pop this into responsive, we get this gap here, and I have to fix the navigation because I'm hiding the navigation at the top, but there's a second set of navigation in the footer, which I forgot about. And so when I hit it in the header, it also hit it in the footer. I strongly suspected that there was a problem with the layout of the footer as well. So here's why I think this might have something to do with how I'm hiding the navigation. Normally, I almost always can take whatever the desktop navigation is and rearrange it and put it in a container off canvas for mobile. That's never been a problem for me to do. The reason I decided to literally build a second set of navigation is this. And of course I don't have it pulled up, so let me grab it. All right. Every time. Just show the sidebar. Okay. It's because the navigation had all of this additional stuff in it. 1 second here. Okay. So based on the layout of the header for desktop, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to grab all this stuff. I mean, I suppose I could strong arm it with some vanilla JavaScript and do a bunch of DOM manipulation. I actually think it's fine to just have a second set of navigation for your mobile view tucked into the DOM. It's really easy to hide and show those things in a way that is very screen reader friendly. There's nothing wrong with that structurally. My preference is always to use what's on desktop for mobile, but there's nothing wrong structurally with having a second set of navigation, especially when you have this fly out off canvas drawer here that just has a bunch of extra stuff. So I'm thinking that, so here's this extra drawer right here. Let me make this a little bigger. So here's this extra drawer. Oh, get out of my way. There we go. Mobile off canvas right here. In fact, if I just take it out, is that the cause? No, that's not the cause. So I went through yesterday and I just really refined the mobile styles, which we had to do anyways. Hoping that would solve the problem. I just didn't have those styles refined enough that it was causing that to happen. So today we just need to troubleshoot. We just need to troubleshoot what's going on here. So I really don't think it's the hero. I don't think it's the blog layout. I don't know. I kind of feel like it might be this right here. How I styled this. So let's just take those out. I'm just going to Control X and then to take out all of those headers, and then we can put them back in. We can just undo. That was it. Look at that. That was it. It was the headers. What did I say yesterday? What did I say yesterday when I ended this stream? I was like, I think it's those headers. I think it's those headers. All right. Well, okay, good. We figured it out. So now we just have to restyle those. And I remember feeling like I had styled those in a way that was kind of borderline, you know, messy to begin with. So now, hang on, I'm going to do that again because I don't think I gave it the swipe test. Okay, headers out. Refresh. Nope. I cannot slide to the left or right. Okay, so let's do this. I want to see this in action on my iPhone. Oh, hello. I'm so sorry. I had you covered up. No, chat is not broken. Chat is alive and well. I'm so sorry. I had you covered up. I did not mean to do that. Nano Akia, thank you for being here today. I always love having you. Let's see here. We're going to do a little... I see you. I see you. Phew. I see you. Sorry, you were covered up. So I had this is neither here nor there, but I had a glitch. I use OBS for streaming, and I was getting this glitch in my software, and it had to do with some of the YouTube data and stats that by default get displayed in OBS, but they were causing this glitch. So I have to look at the data or the stream activity, health, whatever you want to call it, in a different window. So I'm adapting to my new layout, and you were covered up. Nobody cares, but that's what happened. So, okay. So let's go ahead and push this. Let's go ahead and just push this to our Git repository, deploy it to Heroku, and I want to actually see that this fixes it on iPhone, but I think that it does. So we're going to git add, git commit, removing the sidebar headers for testing on mobile. Such a good description. Okay, git push origin. Origin. Wow. Okay, I'm really glad that we found this out. I'm really, really glad that we figured this out early. So, all right, let's give this a moment. Let's give this a moment to deploy. And I have Heroku pulled up. Oh, and you know what I meant to do? I meant to find that Git repository where I did the navigation transition, and I forgot. That's fine. That's fine. I know I can do the transition. We might have to take one more look inside Git and see if I can find that. Because I really don't want to reinvent that wheel. So, blog website, open app. Oh, yep, and our titles are gone. Okay, so let's go over to mobile. And let's see what happens when we refresh. There we go. There we go. We popped right back in. We popped right back into Good. And let's just admire how this looks on mobile. That could be tightened up a little bit, couldn't it? That's a lot of space. Yeah, we can tighten that up a little bit. I think our text size looks good. I feel like, ooh, look at the difference between these social icons and these social icons. So we need to tighten that up a little bit. I think the spacing here is okay. Maybe. That looks good. I really like how that looks. We have a lot of space there. We need to tighten that up. Here's officially our sidebar. I think our sidebar looks fine. So we just need to restyle, and then we have to fix the footer. So we just have to restyle those headers. So I think our goal for today should be let's fix these headers for the sidebar, and then let's just try to finish the navigation, and we'll see how far we get. We'll see how far we get. Good. That makes me so happy. I was thinking about that earlier. I was like, what if I can't figure it out? What if I can't figure it out? What if I don't know? What if I'm not able to figure out what's breaking my layout? Okay, so let's get these back in here. I mean, I wonder what it is. Do you think it's just this dashed border, or do you think it's like everything? Let's just take out the dashed border and see if that's it. No, it's not the dashed border. It's not the dashed border. So it's the actual H3. Yeah, it's really just the H3. All right. Well, let's see what we did. I don't know. I don't remember. I mean, I do remember feeling like when I did it, I remember feeling reminded when I did those headers. Oh yeah, it's been a while since I've styled something like this, and I'm being reminded of what a pain in the ass it is to style things like this. That's what I remember thinking when I did it. So let's see. All right, here it is. So I did display inline block. There's our dashed border. Okay, well, I'm just going to take some of these things out. Let's see if we can start with a relatively blank canvas. I'm going to take out anything that is I wonder if it's the white space no wrap. Is that what's causing it? That was it. It's the white space no wrap. So I think we need to make sure that it just has enough width. Yeah, we don't want width 100%. how do I, pretty sure that's why I did display inline block. Yeah. Width auto, margin left, margin top. I should probably just use flex. I should probably just use Flexbox. Because if we do display, this is one of those things where I'm like, why are you having so much trouble with this? But if we use Flexbox on the parent container, if we use Flexbox on the parent container, it's going to mess with all the children. Also, maybe we could just do position relative left 50%. Maybe that's a better way to go. And then we don't, so display inline block, because display block by default takes up the full width of the parent container. Display inline block gives you the best of display inline and the best of display block, where you can add that margin and padding and do that positioning. Inline, of course, you could just text align. You could just do text align center. I mean, does it need to be? You could still do a background color of white. Yeah, no, I think that that will probably be the better way to go. We do want margin top 0. So we'll do display inline block, and then we'll just use position relative left 50%, and then our transform will bring it back. I think that's the best way to go. So we'll take this out. We're going to take this out. I'm going to go position relative left 50%. And then I'm not going to define any width. Yeah, I think that's it. That works. This is not aligned quite right. What's going on with this? I'm sure that I did something. I'm sure that I did something that impacted that. Sidebar item tertiary heading right here. Text align center. I think I did that for that. Okay, that's fine. We can just so let's take this out, and then let's just specifically align that Instagram link right here. So we'll just give this its own class. And paragraph tags by default, block level elements. Anchor tags by default, inline elements. So it's a good best practice to always put your anchor tags inside a set of paragraph tags. For one, that's semantic. And for two, once we put a class on this p tag, we can say on the parent text align center, and then any inline element inside of the p tag will be aligned center. So that's a very easy solution. So we'll just call it Insta handle. Insta handle, text align center. There we go. We don't get very much of the dashed border, so let's sort of bring in this padding a little bit. What do we have there? The padding is 1 rem, so let's just go down to 0.5. Yeah, and that brings it in, scooches it in just a little bit more. Let's see here. Good, good, good. This makes me happy. I was stressed out about being able to figure this out today. There we go. Look at that. Okay, let's go ahead and deploy this again. I want to see it on my phone. One of my New Year's resolutions was to make sure that I was being a little more thorough in my QA, which means we should probably check Firefox too. So while this is deploying, we'll go over to Firefox. Fixing the sidebar headings for mobile. Okay, so while that's deploying, let's check Firefox. Thank you, Nano Kia. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm loving the progress too. I have some ideas. I mean, I think I have a personal project that I want to use this for. And I have this in, if you check the description in the show notes for this video, I do have this in GitHub. Open source, totally free. Anybody who wants to use it, you are welcome to do so. But yeah, I'm loving the progress also. I just really love front end. I just really enjoy this so much. Left, right. Can I? Let's see here. Where do I make it so? I don't, oh, here, theme, no. Okay, I don't see it. I'll look another time. Okay. Yeah, this is looking good. This is looking really good. Does Firefox... Here we go. Mobile. Ooh, that's tiny. Device simulation changes require a reload to fully apply. Okay. Yeah, they look good. Oh, we gotta fix that footer. Okay, we're gonna fix that footer. Okay, I'm not sure I care about those right now. Okay. Looks good. Let's check out. Let's reload. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, we're still wiggling here. That's interesting, because that is not happening in the browser. See, this is why you gotta check. Yeah, this is why. Okay, well. Yeah, it still does not. Interesting. I was not expecting that. Wait, did I deploy this? I think so, because the titles are there. Okay, here's Heroku. See, it's not happening anymore, even in the simulator. So we're good in the simulator, but on iPhone it is still not okay. That's interesting. Okay, so here's what we need to do. I'm fixing this. This is the priority, fixing this. Not what I planned on. But we clearly need a simpler approach to styling these headers. So what is the simpler approach here? So I'm going to take out display inline block, and I'm going to take out the transform, and then I'm going to take out the styles for the dashed border. So we can just text align center those. It does have a background color. The reason we did inline block is because it's a block level element, and with the background color, it covers up that dashed line. So you have to be able to center something with the background, not define the width, because some titles are longer and some titles are shorter. Because if you do a background color, it's going to be white for the full width. I'm really surprised that it's still breaking on iPhone. That surprises me. Well, I'm thinking about moving on for now and coming back to this. That's what I'm thinking about doing. Yeah, because I want to get this navigation done, and maybe I just need a minute to think about this. I might need like a time when I'm not streaming to sit and find the best way to achieve this once and for all. Just really glad that I decided to check iPhone, because I think what I have a tendency to do is not actually check my mobile device and rely on the simulator in the browser. And I'm glad that I'm not going to do that anymore. So I just want to be better about that. I'm using Chrome on iPhone. That's a good point. Actually, that's a good point. Let's check Safari. Let's check Safari. Hang on, let me do this. All right. No. Safari's fine. It's not breaking Safari. Let's go back to Chrome. You think the caching on... No, I don't think this is a caching issue on Chrome. Yeah, it's not doing it on Safari, but it's doing it on Chrome. You think it could be a caching issue on Chrome? I don't know. Okay, maybe I'm gonna leave it. because these styles to me are not, they're not like, they don't make me feel like we hacked something. You know what I mean? These styles feel, yeah, caching. Um, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it, and we're gonna come back to it, and maybe, yeah, maybe it is a caching issue because of all the of the um of the places where I would expect it to not work, it would be Safari, not Chrome. I wouldn't expect, I would expect Safari to be the fussier browser of the two. So I'm going to leave this. We're going to move on, and we're going to get this navigation wrangled in. So, boy, you're really bothering me there. Okay. All right. Well, hey, but guess what? This is the life of a front-end developer. This is what it's like. Sometimes things break and you don't know why. You don't know if it's caching. You don't know if it's the browser. You don't know if it's you. You don't know. You don't know. This is how it works. So, and then once it gets out into the wild and people start testing it, and I don't even mean like the user that it's intended for, I mean like the users inside your organization or the client, and then they start giving you feedback because they've got a different device and a different browser and a different operating system. So this is the life, man. So, okay. So now let's go back to working on our off-canvas navigation, which is what brought us down this rabbit hole to begin with, because the off-canvas navigation wasn't displaying properly because we had this gap. Oh, and you know, the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take off this overflow hidden on the body, which I don't like doing anyways. To me, that it didn't even work. First of all, it didn't even work. But also, I really feel like people use overflow hidden on the body as a crutch to not really get in and solve problems. So, hot take, I know, cache is the developer's worst enemy. And here's the thing. The iPhone Chrome cache, in my opinion, is the biggest, worst enemy of cache. Because at least in the Chrome browser, you can use a tool like, what is this here? Chrome browser clear cache. So hopefully, let's see here. No, it's not what I wanted. Extension. Clear cache. Right here. This browser extension. Really, really good browser extension for clearing the cache on individual URLs and forcing the browser to fetch those resources, get those updated resources. So, highly, highly recommend. This is the little icon here in this upper right-hand corner that I'm always clicking because it clears the cache and it forces the browser to get those resources. But they don't really have anything like that on iPhone. So a lot of times on iPhone, I do have to come back in 8, 10, 12, 24 hours to check something. So, okay. So let's get in here. Did I take out on the body? Yes. Let's get in here and work on our navigation. So here was the mobile off-canvas navigation. And if we put the active class on, there it is. And now, there it is. And we have a container that scrolls. We need to make sure, though, that we've got extra padding here. We need to just make sure that we have extra padding so we're not losing everything, because our navigation's getting cut off on the bottom, and the home, the top of the navigation, is out of sight. So let's make sure that this has enough padding on the top and bottom. Not even close. Let's see here. Okay, hang on, Angela. This is not a padding issue. So our container, I think, so I think there needs to be another container inside that scrolls. I think there has to be another container around these three, and that's the thing that needs to scroll. So we'll just call this the mobile wrap. There we go. So here's our overflow scroll. So this is the mobile wrap. I don't know if we have to put a height on that. We're still losing our navigation, but we can see oh, wait a second. We don't need padding. It's just getting hidden. Yeah, it's just getting hidden because, yeah, that's why. It's just getting hidden because it's mobile. Okay, so this is what happens when you reuse a lot of styles. Okay, so let's see here. And also we lost our positioning. So we probably, maybe we don't need to use, see now I'm thinking we don't need to reuse the wrap. I just need to change the positioning on mobile. Yeah. Mobile wrap. Yeah, I think it's just the positioning. So really, the flex box for align items, I think this should just be flex start. Because on desktop, if we actually had this flyout menu, we would want this positioned center-wise on the y-axis. We don't want it to be centered on the y-axis, though, on an actual mobile device. We really want this to be flex start. And again, it's a column, so that changes the orientation. Since the flex flow is column no wrap, justify content now handles the centering on the x-axis. Align items handles the centering on the y-axis. If it was a row, it would be the opposite. So I think I'm right about that. So let's change this to flex start, because in order for that scroll to work, it really needs to be, it needs to start at the top. No, wait, did I get that backwards? I think I got it backwards. I did get that. Erase what I just said. I got that backwards. Flex start. Justify content still no, I did get it right. Because if it's a row, justify content handles the alignment on the x-axis, but if it's a column, it handles the alignment on the y-axis. I got it right, but I explained it wrong. It's the opposite. There we go. And so now, beautiful. Beautiful. So now let's make sure that our social icons are working correctly. So we're hiding our social icons up here on desktop, but we still need them to appear here, and they have all the same styles. So I need to find a different, I think I need to just take out the top left class. How much you want to bet that's it? Beautiful. Beautiful. Look at this. I love it. Love, love, love. Okay. All right. I know I put some extra space here. But I don't think we need that extra space now. Yeah, we can take that out. Because now that I'm actually seeing it for a mobile device, so header 142. There we go. We have our scroll. We see the entire container. Oop. Look at that. We'll fix this. So this Z index, I'm sure it's just like 1. Yep. So really, this Z index just needs to be like a 2. There we go. So we'll fix that. Header 92. Don't get too crazy with your Z indexes. They don't need to be 99 or 1,000. Just be mindful of your stacking order. You don't need to do anything too crazy. Yeah. This looks good. This looks really good. We are probably going to have to move this down because we also have some buttons. Oh yeah, those buttons. Technically, well, no, the navigation is displayed none. So we need to make sure that these buttons right here have enough z-index that they appear, and then we're going to have to push everything down. So this top right doesn't have any styles. That's interesting. So if we give this position relative and just a little z-index of like 2, 3. 3 is fine. 3 works. So do we want the entire container to have that z-index? So if the navigation's open, do we also want to see the button for the search? I'm going to say no. So I think we should just do this just for the menu button. Just for the menu button. So let's go ahead and do that, and then let's push this down, which we can do with some margin. Make sure everything is scrolling the way it should. And then let's work on our transition for, this is the perfect segue to segue into the actual transition of animating that icon, that menu icon. Let's see here, header 24. So here's our button menu. We can just go ahead and do position relative. You have to use a position property in order to get access to z-index. The default position is position static. So if you use relative, absolute, fixed, I think scroll, you get access to z-index, which controls the stacking order, but you can't stack higher than the current parent container. So keep that in mind. There we go. And yeah, we do want to push this down a little bit. So probably we would want to put just some margin here on top of this mobile nav. To push that down a little bit. And then let's just make sure that this would all still scroll. Nice. Nice. Okay, let's go ahead. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's add that margin. Mobile nav. And then we're going to check another thing here. So are these block level elements? They are not. Okay, so I wanted to make sure these weren't block level elements. If they were block level elements, that would basically mean that you could click anywhere from the left to the right to trigger this, but they are not block level elements, but they do still have a big enough tap target. We gave these some nice juicy padding yesterday. And the reason I wanted to check that is because I don't want the user tapping on this menu button and then accidentally hitting a navigation item. So I feel like this is okay. I feel like this is okay. Yeah, and we still have our tap target here. So, okay. Okay. So now we're going to work just on this button, which we built just out of 3 plain divs. So we want to animate these divs when the button is active. So, okay, I'm just going to look in my GitHub one more time. Because I have a million versions of animating, or no, I have a million versions of navigation in my GitHub. Okay, neither of these are it. I also have a million portfolios. May 8th, 2024. This could be it. No. Okay. This is my original WordPress theme. December 26th, 2020. Nope, this is just the README. Could be this. Why did I name everything module? I don't even remember this. But I don't think this is it. Okay. "2017. I think this is extremely unlikely that this is it. Nope. I don't think this is it either. Yep, this is it. All right. So here's what this is. So basically this class line are the divs, the 3 divs, and then we put a transform. We use rotate Z, translate 0, 0. Then we do a transition. Oh, and this is where each line was a different width. And then this is right here, the transform. Yep. So, and it had the active pseudo class and the clicked. Okay. So let's go ahead and do this. So I'm not going to do different widths, right? My favorite thing to say to myself, why did I name this this? I like looking at that repository. Why did I add module to the name of everything? I've literally never done that, but clearly I did that. I have no idea why. So That's one of the, I don't know, one of the crazy things about being a developer, or I kind of get a kick out of it, is just going back and looking at my old work and very clearly remembering thinking that I had done such an amazing job, but then going back and looking at it and just being like, what was I doing? Why did I think that this was smart? So, okay, we found it. I didn't want to reinvent this wheel. I knew I had already done this. Why do I have to reinvent this wheel when I know I've already done this? The answer is you don't have to. So let's go ahead and put this. So this is going to go on our div. And let's find, where are you? Oh, it's the buttons right here. So we'll put these up here. Oh, wait a second. That's the wrong place. It goes on the div right here. I'm going to put it further down. I'm not worried about the different widths. And then when the menu is open, the lines are all 100%. I don't care about that. But when it's active or clicked, we're going to trigger the div. So we'll do active. And I'm just going to do the class active. Oh, but this needs to be inside. Needs to be inside here. We're going to change the first one, and we're going to change, well, we're going to change all of them. We're going to make the second line a width of 0 because we only want to make the first and the third crisscross. So I'm going to do, I'll do pointer events. Why did I do pointer events none? Don't remember why I did that. So we'll do all 3 of these. And that's inside. What else do we have here? I think that's it. And then these pixel values to make the X, the crosses, the crisscross line up. We'll see how that looks. Let's see here. The moment of truth. Nope, let's see here. Oh, I did put this in the wrong spot. It goes on the, hang on. So we want the transform on the individual lines. And then this closes. But on the menu open, we trigger the line so it goes on the div. The active is on the button. I forgot to do this part here. So the active is on the button. And then we have to do this. Div. And we might have to give this a class, although it's looking at the Well, let's see. Let's see how it goes. We have to give that a class. Oh, please tell me I'm not the only one who saw that. Please tell me that somebody else here also saw that it worked the first time. Hello? Yes. Yes. Monique is here. Monique, hello. Where are we? Lost track of time. No, it's all good, Monique. It's all good. You join us whenever you have time. We are working on our navigation. So, look at that. Look at that. Look how beautiful that transition is. You guys, I did that. I mean, I did that like a couple years ago, but I did it. And look at the pixels, they all line up. Oh, hang on. Wrong one. Let me make this a little bigger here. Oop. Look at that. They even line up really well. So simple. And you don't need an SVG. You don't need anything fancy to do that. Wrong thing. Come on. You don't need anything fancy to do that. So let's review our CSS here again. So here's the button menu class, which is the class for the actual button. There's button search, here's button menu right here. This is our button. We have a span with a class of access hidden and the words open menu. So if a screen reader comes and sees this, it knows that this is what you click for the menu. And honestly, we should take out the words open. We should just say menu. Because once it's open, technically it should say close, but I'm just going to say menu. So that's what that is. And then we have three empty divs. And then the divs are styled to be a width of 25 pixels, a height of 0. We just give them a border bottom of 2 pixels. I'm sure I had some good reason for, oh, I know why I did this. 6.3334 pixels. I think it was so I could get like, I could make sure that the hamburger menu was 48 pixels tall for accessibility. Then we add a transform, rotate Z of 0, translate 0, 0, which basically means do nothing. Just keep it exactly where it is. And then the transition all, which is really the transform. You could even just put in the word transform there if you want to. Then when the button menu is either active, as in the pseudo class active, which is the natural state after clicking on something, but also the active class, which we're going to go ahead and do with JavaScript, go ahead and trigger these divs, and we animate the transformation of the first one to go this way, the last one to go this way, and the second one to just animate down to nothing. So that's what this is. That's what this is. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah, so here we are. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our click event in here. And actually, if we actually, you can even see there because we have that active class. So if I just click, it does it because of the active pseudo class. So that's pretty cool. And if I just hold it down, I love it. I love it. Okay. So next here's what we need to do then. We need to make sure that, so our click event is we click on the button and we add an active class to the button and we add an active class to the mobile off canvas div. That's our pseudocode. So let's pull up our main.js and we'll just go ahead and do document, add event listener. Yep, that's it. And we're not really loading any data. So let's go ahead and do const. We'll just say button equals, I know I'm supposed to appreciate that it's doing this for me, but I don't know. It just makes me feel like I'm cheating. Button menu, even though I need all the help I can get. Okay, and then we'll do const menu. Yeah, I guess that's it. It's, where is it here? Oh, and we can take that out. We're not using that. Mobile off canvas. Okay, and then we want to do menu class list toggle. Active. Happening here. Active. And then we want if menu class list contains active button no I want if it contains button, if the button, no. Okay, this is confusing me. So, when we click the button, add an active class to the button. And add an active class to the menu. Okay, there's our pseudocode. So when we click the button, add an active class to the menu. But first we have to check. Well, we're toggling. I don't just want to toggle though, we have to check it first, don't we? Or am I overthinking? Menu class toggle active. Maybe that's all we have to do to the button too. Button classless toggle active. Why am I getting an error here? Quick fix. Okay, excellent. Accept. There we go. Okay. I feel like there's other things we have to do here besides just toggling, but maybe it doesn't matter because if the on refresh, it's going to go back to how it was, right? So maybe toggling is fine. Nothing's happening. Button, menu, mobile off canvas, button, add event listener, click. Oh, do I have this, hang on. Do I have this linked? I do. Main.js. Console. Oh, it's because it needs to be type. Hang on. Don't tell me. It needs to be module? No, script? Is that right? Why don't I know what that's supposed to be? Why is this wrong? Yeah, that's what I thought. Corrected code. That's what I had. Okay, so it's saying to restart. Oh, do I have, oh my gosh, Angela. Oh my gosh. There we go. There we go. There we go. Wrong path. Oh, look at that. We can't, so we still have some refining to do here. But yeah, this is working. Just toggling. We don't have to check anything. So if this is open and we refresh, we need to make sure then, so we have to make sure that this is hidden on mobile. We should really make sure that, well, let's just make sure this is hidden on mobile. Let's see here. I want to make sure this entire container, mobile off canvas. I think that the active should be inside the media query. It needs to be inside the media. I feel like it needs to be inside the media query. At media. Max width 960 pixels. Oh, hang on. So here's our button, and that has active. I mean, as long as the buttons stay in sync, I think it's okay. So if this is open, but then you go back to desktop and then you come back here, if those active classes are there, they remain open. But does that matter? How does this affect usability if it's meant for mobile? I don't know if it matters. So my instinct is that I need to, if it's not in mobile and you go back to desktop, I need to clear these active classes. I don't think I do. I just don't think that matters as long as it stays consistent. The only thing I really care about using the toggle is that the menu and the button don't get out of sync. Like one is active, but the other one isn't. But I don't know how, I mean, in what universe, if the on-page load, they're both not active, why would they get out of sync? I don't think they would. So I'm fine with this. And I don't want people to be able to open the search if this is open, because then you have this competition of which drawer gets precedence, right? So yeah, exactly. 99.99% of general users don't resize their browser window, just us devs. Exactly. Here's why I think about it though. I put as much thought into it as I do because I worked at an agency. It was very early in my career when I was still living in San Diego, where let me show you I worked at an agency where the salesmen, the account managers, i.e. salesmen, and this was in the early days of responsiveness. So this was like 2014, 2015. Yes, that was the early days of responsiveness, where this was a selling point. In this particular agency, this was a selling point where the account managers would really sell responsiveness, and they called this scrubbing the browser, where they would show clients and prospective clients what the transitional responsiveness should look like. And I believe very strongly that as long as you're paying attention to this transition, that you're making sure that things look good as you go back and forth or as you scrub the browser, you're fine. You don't have to. Don't worry about a prescription of media queries. Just make it look good from big to little and you'll be fine. But this was a very big deal. And I remember this was an agency that loved having meetings, and they had this very specific look and feel of how something should transition or how something should animate. And that is hard to get out of my head after having had that experience and sitting in those meetings and being given builds where they had this very specific way of how they wanted things to transition. So this is my very long-winded way of telling you that it is a difficult habit to break. It is a difficult habit to break after having had that experience. But regardless, I do think devs, we spend so much time doing this. Yeah. That was a wild experience. Yeah, I think this looks really good though. So now let's animate the actual drawer sliding open. Let's do that. Let's go back to our header. So here's mobile off canvas. And right now, actually, we don't want to use display. We do not want to use display because you cannot, but we do need this to be display flex because you cannot transition display. What you actually transition is this. So it's 320 pixels wide. So it's actually, to be off canvas, it will be negative 320 pixels. And then the active is right 0, but we have to transition that. So we'll do transition. Nope. Stop. Transition. Right 300 milliseconds. Ease in out. So now we should get a nice smooth transition of that off canvas. It's so beautiful. Look at that. Isn't it gorgeous? I mean, CSS. How do you not love this? How do you not love this? I mean, I just think back to that article that we read, front end is from hell. Satan invented front end development, something like that. I don't know. I don't get it. Why don't people love it as much as we do? Why? I'm 11 years in. It never gets old. Okay, so let's get this pushed up so we can check it on iPhone. And I'm just gonna have to do some troubleshooting this week. If it's not a caching issue on iPhone Chrome, then I'm just gonna have to do some troubleshooting this week because I really think that our H3s in the sidebar, those sidebar titles, are fine. I mean, I feel like we cleaned that up in a way that feels satisfying and clean to me. So, mobile off canvas navigation styles. Git push, origin, main. Okay, while that's deploying, let's see how things look on Safari. Look at me, QA, doing QA in different browsers. Let's see here, what's going on in the console? Okay, I will make a favicon before next week. How does that sound? Beautiful. Beautiful and so simple. It's so simple, isn't it? Oh yeah, we need to do some refining there. We'll go through and do another pass at some responsive styles. We'll fix the footer. We'll tidy this up, the spacing here. Oh, you know what else we need to do? We need to do a click event for our categories so we can show that drop-down menu. We'll do that also. And we need to fix this. We need to fix the. Okay. Hello, welcome. Welcome to the stream. Okay, let's see what's happening on iPhone. it a reload. Yeah, she's still a little off kilter, but we can still test here. We'll check Safari as well. Look at that, our z-index is not working. Our z-index is not working for the menu. That's interesting. All right, let's see what's happening on Safari. I mean, what in the frick? What in the frick, Chrome? This is working perfectly on Safari. Huh. Okay, well, I mean, I'm half annoyed, but I'm also really glad that I decided to make this a goal. Because how easy would it be to just do all of this on desktop in a simulator and be like, check, check, we're done, nothing to see here, it's all good. Let's do to Chrome what Travis Coates did to Old Yella. I mean, yeah, I mean, so you know what this reminds me of? So I started in like 20, I started learning HTML and CSS in like 2010, but I didn't really get serious about it till like 2011, 2012. And those were back in the old Internet Explorer IE 7 and 8 days where you had to do polyfills for everything because people were just starting to use Chrome. Chrome was getting popular. Like organizations were switching from Internet Explorer, which wasn't dead yet, over to Chrome. I remember because I worked in a law firm that was IE8 and they did finally switch over to Chrome. But you had to use polyfills for everything. And that was very confusing to me. I didn't understand. It was the beginning of my career. We did not have the resources we have now. So my point is, this is what this feels like to me. This is what this feels like to me. Chrome on iPhone. What is this, a Google versus Apple thing? What's happening? So, yeah. Okay, well, I mean, does it just need more z-index? It's one thing for those titles to not be working, but why is my... So the margin on the menu isn't there. I mean, did this deploy correctly? It says it was deployed. So what I don't understand is that we don't even have the margin. There isn't even any margin on the top there. Okay, well, yeah, I'm gonna wait and look at it in the morning. I'm not gonna, if this is a Chrome issue, I talk to my junior developer about this all the time. Um, you know, the fact that you will spend time feeling like you're being completely gaslit by the browser, right? Because you don't know if it's a you problem or the browser problem. So we're gonna move forward. I'll check it tomorrow and this week, and I'll see if I can figure out what the problem is. So I'm gonna wait and do the search drawer next weekend, and I want to just come back in here and refine a few more of these styles. So I think we need to refine this. So here's our social nav blog right. Where is that? Social nav blog right. Blog links is in main. Here's our blog links, align item center. So I bet Flex Container has justify content space between by default. So let's put in, I bet we can just do justify content center, and that'll fix that. No. Hang on. Oh, it needs to be on the UL. That's why. Okay. Still no. Blog right, UL. Oh my gosh, I'm on the Heroku site. Hang on. Let's close that. It's not the first time I've done that. Here we go. There it is. And you can even see it matches now. Here and here. That matches. So. Oh, and look what else is happening here. You see our box shadow? We also have a box shadow on the right here because we put a box shadow on the drawer. So let's fix that. Let's go back to the header. So right here we have this box shadow. So we probably want to make sure that that box shadow is only when it's active. But we don't necessarily want to I mean, I guess we can, I don't think we need to transition the box shadow. Box shadow, none. Yeah, you can tell when the when it gets clicked, the box shadow immediately disappears, but I think that's fine. I think that is, oh, look at, that's why. That's why. Look at, is that why our X is disappearing? But I still couldn't see it. Hang on. That's why we couldn't see the X. Yeah, we still can't see it though. Okay, I'm not sure. That's still a mystery. But this, so we probably want to make sure that that is fixed. Or, yeah. So then we would have to make this entire container fixed, which takes it out of the flow, which I don't love. Or we could have a second button, the transitions. We could have two buttons. Or we could just make sure that the container in the background can't scroll. Let's do that. If the menu's open, the container in the background can't scroll. So that would mean that the body would be overflow hidden. Is that what that would mean? But not X or Y, just the whole thing would be hidden, right? Yeah. So we would want to put the active class on the body also. And if the body is active, then it's overflow hidden. So you can't scroll the body if the menu is active. I don't know. What do we think of that? Opinions? So here the body can scroll. Or we could just make sure that the menu or the header, we could just make sure that the header is sticky. We could do that too. Oh, I didn't even give it the styles. So many decisions. All these little things that come up while you're working. Sticky, I'm thinking the same thing. Sticky header sounds good. Yeah. We're thinking alike. Let's do it. Sticky header. I'm only going to do sticky header on mobile though. I'm not going to do it on desktop. I also think we could tighten up some of this. I feel like we could tighten up some white space. Maybe. Angela, don't worry about that. Okay. Sticky header on desktop. Let's see here. Mobile, excuse me. Mobile. Header. So by default, we want the position to be static, and you do have to define it. You have to define that default if you're going to change it. I think, right? Do you? Maybe you don't. We'll try it. I feel like you do. Position sticky. And I think we can just do the inset 0 width 100%. And we are probably going to have to adjust. We'll see if we have to adjust anything. Oh, look at that. We have to give it a background. Or no, we just have to give it some z-index. So z-index, well, we probably need to give it a z-index of 4. I think we're up to 4. And I think we need to give it a background color. I just started learning HTML, CSS. Do you have any advice for me? Practice. Lots of practice. I want you to practice building layouts. So the advice that I love giving, look at that. Let's give that some box shadow too. And because it's sticky, it doesn't take it out of the flow until you are on scroll, which you used to always have to do with JavaScript. But because it's sticky, it doesn't really take it out of the flow until you start scrolling, right? And the reason that's significant is if this was fixed. So let's do fixed and we'll see what happens. Oh, what just happened? Well, it's taking up the whole thing. Okay, so this is a great example. It's taking it out of the flow. So let's see if we have to give it a height of, I don't know, 100 pixels. There we go. You'd have to give it height for 1, but also do you see how our hero elements are behind the header? That's because you are literally taking it out of the flow and putting it on top of everything. But with sticky, you don't have to do that. It remains in the flow wherever the browser is, like wherever the browser window is. If it's organically in its correct spot, it's still part of the flow. But then on scroll is when it's out of the flow and it becomes sticky. But it's only sticky as long as its parent container remains within the window. So in this case, the header's parent container is the body, and the body is everything is in the body. The body is never going to be outside of the browser window. The body is the parent container of everything. So, but if you're doing sticky inside of another of these containers, as soon as any other container, any parent of sticky scrolls out of view, out of the window, then the sticky goes with it. So that's something to note. I've run into that a few times. So, okay, to answer this question, Here's what I like to recommend. For one, the best answer is just practice. You need lots of practice. And if you really want to get good at HTML and CSS, let's see here, web design layout, I tell people go to Pinterest because this is basically a free way to get layout ideas. Come to Pinterest and just start building layouts. Practice Flexbox, practice Grid if that's the layout tool that you like using. Practice, make sure that you understand the difference between display inline, display block, and display inline block. Just practice building HTML elements, practice vanilla JavaScript. Make sure that you are reading the docs, that you're comfortable reading the docs. So we were looking at this yesterday. So the MDN web docs are some of the absolute gold standard, best documentation you're ever going to find. That doesn't mean that sometimes it will feel a little obscure or a little obtuse or a little like, I like to call it, it's like reading stereo instructions. So in light of that, make sure that you also feel really comfortable using the dev tools and that you feel comfortable coming in here directly in the browser in order to test your ideas or figure out how you're going to fix a bug, things like that. So I think the best answer is just practice. Just practice. Just come up with an idea. Think of something you want to build and build it. Especially when you're working in a local environment, you have nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose. So just practice as much as possible. So let's put a box shadow on the header. Let's give that box shadow, the header, a little bit of a box shadow as well. So we'll do box shadow. We're going to do 0 for X. I'm going to do 1 pixel for the Y axis, 1 pixel for the, I think it's the spread, 2 pixels for the blur, and then we'll do RGBA, black, and the alpha channel, I usually do like 0.10, which is like 10%. There we go. And now we have that nice little box shadow. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, let's fix our footer. And the reason the footer, yes, excellent point. Never be afraid of asking questions. Yeah. Nano Kia is absolutely right. Listen, I'm here most weekends. You can ask me anything. If I know the answer, I will tell you the answer, or I will tell you where to find the answer. So, yeah, never be afraid of asking questions. That is also very good advice. So, okay. So there's also a full set of navigation in the footer, but because I love to reuse classes, I think that I hid main nav on mobile, which took it out of the footer. So we just have to fix that with a little extra specificity. So footer nav, we want to make sure that this remains. I think if we just do display block, this will just remain. Let's see. There we go. There we go. Yes, we do also have a Discord, which I am kind of bad sometimes about checking, but let me pull it up for you. see here. Okay, I don't know where the link is. Let me find it. I haven't checked Discord in a little while, and that is just because I hadn't thought of it honestly, because I've been a little busy with a couple other things, so that is my bad. So sorry about that, but yeah, that's the link to our Discord server. Normally I have that open and I check it, but it looks like I haven't in about 2 weeks, and I didn't even realize I hadn't. So sorry about that for anybody who joined, and I didn't see them there. So I have it back open now. So let's see here. Okay. Okay, so here is, I'm not, yeah, this needs a little help here. Let's fix up this navigation. So I did the navigation this way for mobile because I was trying to solve my layout being broken, but I honestly don't love this. So I'm going to take out the column and put in a little padding, and we're just going to let that wrap naturally on mobile. So let's fix this up a little bit. Well, let's just go ahead and give this some padding on the left and right. I'm going to take out the flex flow, and we'll leave that the way it is. Oh, we do need some more padding. Okay. It's a little squishy, isn't it? So we need to make sure, and really they should have a kind of a juicy tap target, shouldn't they? Yeah. So let's make sure that let's make sure that, oh, here's the links. We want to take out the, right now, the text decorate, let's make that text decoration color is white. And then let's just make sure that this has a padding of 1 rem. Oh, and it was going to have to be display block also. Display, no, display, yeah, no, display block, because they're in a container, so they're not going to be aligned. There we go. So this should actually be hover, active, focus, whoop, text decoration color, white. There we go. And then I don't think we need quite that much padding, maybe like 0.65. And then let's make sure that this is also justify content center. There we go. Tap target almost. And then we need to give it a little bit of margin. Yeah, we'll give it a little bit of margin. So when you're tapping, you're not accidentally tapping the thing next to it. There's a little bit of separation. So 0.3 rem. There we go. So it's got a little separation. I just want to see the pointer change in between items, just to know that there's a little separation. Yeah, that looks really good. That looks really, really good. And that can just wrap organically down at the bottom. That looks, I think that's just fine for that to just wrap organically down at the bottom. Okay, now let's fix the, which is this right here. Oh yeah, that's why. Okay. So we'll just make sure that this is, so it's a div, which makes it a block level element. We can give this a width. We'll just give this a width in the footer. So primary logo, let's do this. So that is 355 pixels wide. So we'll just give it a width of 356 pixels. And then it's probably also going to need to be margin 0 auto. Was I imagining that that was 355 by 163, 356. Was I imagining that? That math is not mathing. Oh. Okay, that's confusing. I'll go with it. 163. Let's say 165. So in the header, I adjusted the span to move it to the left. Because I felt like as the word ocean got smaller, the was covering it up. The effect is a little different on the footer though. So I'm going to, for the footer, do another media query. max width, 400 pixels, span, left. I don't know, I kind of feel like I should move it in the opposite direction. Yeah, that looks good. No, it doesn't look good. 0. Yeah, I'm just going to go back to 0. Yeah. Okay, so I think the final thing that I want to do is, no, you know what? We're going to do it next week. So next week, we're going to do the search drawer, and we're going to do these categories. Because we also, when we click this button, we'll add an active class. Is that what it, that must not be it. Or is it this? Does the active class go here? There it is. To show a drop down right here. So we'll do that next week, and we'll do our search drawer. And let's go ahead and do a final push to Git and get that deployed up to Heroku. All right, so Git commit, footer styles, what else? Body styles. And then let's take a peek at Firefox. Yeah, it's looking good. And then the other thing I want to do next week is I would like to do branded hovers for each of these social media colors. So brand colors, I think it's brandcolors.net. Yeah. So we'll grab the official brand colors for GitHub, LinkedIn, Instagram, Pinterest, and some have multiple brand colors, so we'll just choose one. I mean, really, we should choose one that has that is accessible. So, I mean, besides... So GitHub has different colors to choose from. Instagram has different colors to choose from. Maybe we could do like a nice little gradient. I don't know. We'll think of something. The priority is really to just find branded hover colors that are accessible against a white background. And so, you know, it's a nice little user interface, UI type enhancement. You know what else we need to do? We could also do, so theoretically, these would be links. These would link to other pages or blog posts, but I didn't build that into the HTML. So we should add anchor wrappers around each of these things. We could even do a transition on hover so that image zooms a little bit. That's a nice user enhancement. And then we'll just go through and just do another top to bottom pass to see if we can refine any more styles. And then we need to get started. So I think that's going to take up most of next weekend, doing the search drawer, making sure that we have the appropriate links, because I know I overlooked that when I built the HTML, but those are easy fixes, but they will require some styles. We could do some small, like zooming in on the images on hover, user enhancement type things. And then after next weekend, I want to get busy building some inner pages. So let me ask the people who are here. Got quite a bit done today, which is always good. Thank you. I do sometimes think like, ooh, am I getting enough done? But also when I add up the amount of time, like I think, okay, 2 hours, this is a good amount of work for 2 hours. So thank you for saying that. So I really wanted to keep going and continue to build out the inner pages, but sometimes I get 5, 6, 7 streams into one project and I'm like, are people getting bored? Do people want to see me continue building this out? Once we have a header, footer, and a home page, do you want to see inner pages being built, or do you want me to move on to another mock-up? Because I have more mock-ups and I want to do what I want to do, but I don't want people to get bored. So I would love to know, Monique, if you're still here, Nano Ikea, anybody else, do you want to see me continue building these pages out? Because I kind of want to, but I don't want people to get bored. So I'll let you guys give me some feedback on that. Because there's no shortage of pages to build out. The other thing I need to try and do this week, whoops, hit the mic, is troubleshoot our layout issues in Chrome. Let's just punish ourselves and see how it looks. Actually, why don't we just close this and reopen it? Oh, wrong one. Okay, and maybe that was all we had to do on Chrome, was close the tab and refresh the cache. We're working. Look at that. Oh, this is so sweet. I'm here for what you want to do, as that would be what you enjoy most doing. Thank you. Okay, it's settled. We're going to keep building pages, because this is really what I want to do. This is really what I want these streams to be. I want it to be where people can see what it really looks like to be a front-end developer, that it doesn't happen instantly, that it requires work, that it takes several hours, but that really once you total it up, like if we were to go through and total up the time spent during each of the streams, it's like just a few solid work days to get something nice built, and then to make that available for people who want to come along and use it, because this is a community of people that I think are so giving of their time and energy and resources. I could not have learned how to do this if it wasn't for people who freely share their work, and I really, really see this as my way of being able to freely give back to this community and share my work, help new developers. If you're a freelancer and you need help with a layout or the HTML or whatever, let me help you. Let me give you some open source user interface. Like, let me put that out into the world and let me help you with your project. If you're really, really good at back end, but you need help with the front end, like, I would love to be that person that you knew you could use my work and it would be good quality work. So, but look at this. I closed out the tab in Chrome and we are working. Look at this. So I think this was a caching issue. I think this was a caching issue because this is looking great. Maybe I should have just closed out the tab from the very beginning. Look at that. And we have a nice sticky header. Our mobile styles look nice and tidy. Oh, we still have a lot of space there. We can clean that up. We'll do another pass next weekend. But we're not scooching back and forth. Our sidebar looks good. Our footer looks good. You guys, we did it. We did it. Look at that. Look at that. So pretty. I love it. Look at that. We did it. We're a team. Oh yeah, and if it's open, you can't scroll. I think that's a good move. I think that it's okay because, and so what I'm just realizing literally right now is that because this inner container inside the off-canvas navigation does scroll, I think it's good to make it so the body can't scroll. I think it's good to make it so the body can't scroll. So you're not inadvertently scrolling that body. I wonder what the idea behind the image in the nav is. Well, this is a mock-up circa 2016. So I don't want to disparage the designer who made the mock-up because I think it's a great mock-up. I wouldn't have bought it if I didn't like it. But probably, what I think when I look at some of these older mock-ups is, oh, it was the early days of responsiveness and people weren't really thinking about accessibility yet. And I don't think that designers were thinking clearly about search engine optimization and accessibility from the point of having multiple chunks of content on a page. That's kind of where my mind goes when I think about it, because I look at this, let's see here. I look at something like this and I'm just like, okay, so now we have something from the sidebar and we have this group of social media icons that are already in the header that I need to somehow get down into this navigation. And I'm just like, this is somebody who didn't have a lot of knowledge when it comes to accessibility or search engine optimization and moving all these pieces around, because you're making a lot of assumptions about the expertise of the front-end developer that the person building this would know to make sure that they're hiding it in a way where it's SEO and accessibility friendly. And I just, I would like to think that a designer today, 8 years later, wouldn't make that decision, but who knows? Maybe this is somebody who just is really good at Photoshop. I don't know. So, I mean, listen, I like the design. I like all of them or I wouldn't have bought them. So, anyways, well, this was super fun. This was super fun. Really, really glad that we solved some of these problems today. I'm definitely very happy with this. I'm extremely happy. Let's check Safari one more time. I'm extremely happy that this is looking good on, let's just close this, that this is looking good on Chrome. And here's Safari. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm really happy with the decision to hide the overflow on the body, so you're not inadvertently scrolling anything other than this window. Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously making a lot of assumptions because I don't consider myself a designer either. And um, yeah, I think this might be where I'm slightly more cynical than you are because I think that I think, well, no, clearly it was a decision because he put it there. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, it looks really good. All right. Well, nice job, guys. We did it. We did it. Thank you for joining me, hanging out with me this weekend. Um, I'll be back again next weekend, and we're gonna resume and get the rest of this home page figured out, and then the following weekend we're gonna be able to jump into those inner pages. So, and I think this is going to be a really cool thing to put out as a nice little open source project for people who want to use it. So I have lots of exciting things planned for 2015. Not enough time to execute all of them, so bear with me while I get everything else in my life sorted out, and I can devote more time to the YouTube channel because yeah, I just have big plans for some of the things that I want to do. So, everybody, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day wherever you are. Stay warm, stay safe, and I will see you next weekend. Bye bye.